Kelsey. Texans wide receiver Tank Dell has some high praise for his second-year QB. Now, CJ won Offensive Rookie of the Year and a playoff game, but Tank Dell says it's just the beginning. He can also win Best Quarterback in the World. Wow. Take a listen.
I for sure feel like CJ got the opportunity to be the best quarterback in the league, to just keep doing what he's doing to bridge the gap between him and Mahomes, man. Because, not gonna lie, Mahomes special, man. What it was, like 6 years, 5 Super Bowls, 6 years, I think, going to the Super Bowl. You know, that's crazy, and it's for sure gonna be a lot of work to have to be put in with 7. But I just feel like if he just keep doing what he's doing, he on the right path. He started hot already.
He did respect Mahomes.
It was. That's why he wanted to play the whole.
I was like, did he forget about Mahomes?
No, that's what made it worse.
So that's courtesy of I Am Athlete. It's a nice piece, but it felt like just a quote panel wasn't enough, so we tried to have a long segment.
Well, unfortunately, you did him no favors.
He's being nice.
Is he?
If he had just said he can be the best quarterback in the league, then maybe it's like, oh, he just forgot. Like, what they was just thinking about his quarterback, wasn't thinking about Mahomes. But the fact that he then evokes Patrick and his resume, and actually gave him an extra Super Bowl appearance, means he put real thought and foresight into this and was saying, yeah, I think my guy can eventually be better than Patrick. And that's, as we've discussed, not a tenable opinion. It's not an allowable. And so I don't know what you want me to say other than it's just bad take and bad opinion.
Tank Dell was being kind to his quarterback and kind to Patrick Mahomes.
No.
I know that the board has very little wiggle room.
Mm-hmm. Is he going on the board?
I hope not.
Well, I'm going to let you guys try to state that give your take.
He's the gold standard.
Okay, look, I obviously agree with Nick. Best quarterback in the league is like off the board for the next 80 years or so.
That's right. Thank you, Brew.
It's best of the rest.
Yes.
Because you might win it. He might win an MVP, which maybe in Tank Dell's mind justifies him saying he's the best quarterback. He might have better numbers. We've seen guys do that. Mm-hmm. But whether Mahomes has the best individual season or not, he's the best quarterback for roughly the next decade.
Yeah.
Unless a guy comes on, CJ, whoever, and was to start winning at the level that Mahomes does, and then still putting up great numbers. Let me say this, though. I'm going to just try to make it an interesting discussion. I will give this to CJ Stroud. He does his start. Here's one thing he has over Mahomes. His start, and it's just 1 year, was much more difficult than Patrick's. He went to a team that was a mess, had a rookie coach, and had missed the playoffs the last 3 years and had won like 11 games in those 3 years. Mahomes did go to a team with one of the greatest coaches ever, Andy Reid, that had made the playoffs the last 3 years and was a good team. And CJ had Tank Dell, Nico Collins. At that point, we were like, okay, how good are they? And Mahomes had Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce and Kareem Hunt. And they were all Pro Bowlers at that time. So it wasn't like Mahomes made Tyreek and Kelce. I'm just saying that I'm trying to make this an interesting discussion.
With the board is what you're doing.
But CJ, I've been on the board. I don't care.
Wow.
All right?
You've never been on the board.
I was on the board last year. I think I was on it twice.
Yeah, you're right. You're
right.
You were on the board twice.
So I'm just saying, obviously, it's off the board to be better than Mahomes unless you start winning a bunch. But CJ has had a tougher start, and he had the best rookie season ever.
You might end up on the board.
Drawer
I know you're just trying to salvage.
Did I say anything that was
Remember,
incorrect?
she was on the board for turning down Travis's friendship bracelet. Well,
that
we
didn't
knew what this
last
was going to turn into.
But Nick, did I say anything that was untrue?
No.
Okay,
I mean, well, Mahomes was undefeated his rookie year, and so the
1-0
undefeated. Right. So Wilds, you don't think it's board worthy?
I just feel like it's like when you famously called Mahomes Jordan-esque.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was a compliment to Michael Jordan. You wouldn't be like, if there was a Jordan board, like, no football player can ever be Jordan-esque. He's the gold standard. So when you compare him, people to Mahomes, it's the ultimate compliment.
Except he didn't compare him to. You know what, Brew? That's correct. Ramsey the board.
I tried, Tank. I'm trying.
Listen. This board is getting awful populated for
It
not even
is,
being August.
consider we're so
Tank
far
Dell
away
right
from the
here.
start of the season.
Stroud can be the best.
Yeah,
He's
okay.
on the board.
Sorry, Tank.
Sorry. Listen, I appreciate you being honest and giving your takes, but it's bad taking to get you on the board. And the Texans are on the Chiefs board as well.
They are?
Well, they're the only relevant team in the AFC that the Chiefs haven't ended their season under their current iteration. They ended their franchise with the 24-0 and the whole thing. They went through a half decade of hell. Now they're back on the other side of it. The Chiefs won't do it again. So, sorry, Tank just made it.
Maybe that's why he was running his mouth.
Maybe.
He was being
He's running his
complimentary.
mouth. He's running his
All right, coming up next, another edition of Walking Boot Weekly. It's a follow-up on Dak Prescott, who's in a walking boot. He was in a walking boot.
Yeah,
he
not
took it
anymore.
off. He only wears it to go deep sea fishing, and that's not
That
a joke.
made sense.
Welcome back to the show. Fresh off of July 4th, Steph Curry has arrived in Vegas for Team USA training. Now, our roster is stacked with stars. A few injury risks here, bro. But we're still huge favorites.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that. I like to,
I just said, yeah, buddy.
No, you're trying to act like I wasn't wearing a Dream Team jersey
You're-
1992 when you were
Look
in
at my guy, Franz
Underoos.
Wagner, making the graphic. What
Goodness
a day
gracious.
for
Why
him.
don't you become a Germany guy?
Yeah, go ahead.
USA, Canada, Serbia, France, and then Germany tied at 4. Is
Yeah.
Team USA a lock for gold?
100% stone cold lead pipe lock. America, since we have been sending the pros, we've won the gold 7 of 8 times. The one time we didn't was such a disgrace, it's still discussed. Since that time we didn't win the gold, we're 29-1. The one loss was a meaningless first game of the Olympics group stage game. They then rolled the rest of the way. There is not another country that in this year's Olympics that has more than one guy that would make our roster. There just isn't. And so you can think about it. You're like, wait, but they have other NBA guys. Yeah, but they don't have another guy. The last guy on our roster is probably Kawhi. You find me a number 2 option on any of these other teams that's like, yeah, he's better than Kawhi. It doesn't exist. So, yes, the United States is a lock to win the gold, Brew, and Wilds. And I'm not waving pom-poms even for America, but I'm being honest here. They're a lock, Brew. Brew's shaking. He's just going back and
He's
forth.
a student of history.
Yeah. The history says.
We are the heavy favorites.
Yeah.
I believe we will win, but we are not a lock.
Okay.
1, we're old.
Yeah.
LeBron, Steph, KD.
But
2, we're injury prone. Age makes you injury prone, so there's that, those 3. And then Kawhi, AD, Joel Embiid. And you can't give me a player that would make our roster because I could go back to the last time we lost. Was that 2004?
What?
And we could have said that about Puerto Rico and all these other teams that beat us. They got nobody that would have made our roster.
That was a bad job by us.
It was a bad coaching job by Larry. The great Larry Brown, all-time great coach. You almost look at it like, was he trying to lose? I mean, he did some bad things.
But are you blaming that on coaching or roster construction?
That was both.
Okay.
But I thought the coaching was poor in that. I mean, you could have double teamed guys, got the ball out of hands, whatever. But my point is, when the Redeem team won in 2008 and brought back our prominence, and we haven't lost
We
since
almost
then.
lost.
They beat Spain by 11. And guess what? Spain had maybe one guy
but
that
a
would have made
different
the
spot
team.
though, because that Spain team though, I agree with. I don't think there is
They had
any.
Pau Gasol, Marc Gasol, Ricky Rubio,
And they
Jose
had
Calderon,
guys.
Rudy
They had been
Fernandez.
building to that moment as a group together for a decade in international
But
basketball.
I'm going to say
that
this
team
about
doesn't
that.
exist
Because
out
I
there
hear
right
too
now.
much about that. I hear about this. These guys grew up playing together. They're not playing together during the year.
No.
Half of the players are in the NBA.
I understand.
So they come together for the first time in 2 years. Oh, yeah, we used to play together as kids, and it matters. I mean, maybe slightly, but I don't buy that.
Okay.
I think we'll win. But I don't think we're a definite lock. I could have looked at the FIBA World Cup last year.
See, I don't
Germany
think we
beat
take
us.
that seriously. Clearly.
You got the
FIBA
Team
World
USA
Cup.
jersey on.
We don't have our players.
That team
We don't have
wasn't
these
nearly
guys.
as good as this one.
Yeah,
but again,
The
Nick,
other teams are
if
sending
you
their guys.
just look at the roster construction, you would have said, We got the best roster.
Yes.
We always have the best roster, but just throwing together a bunch of all-stars is